Hello and thanks for joining us. This is the Signature 30 Minutes. I am Obomano Marvelous. In the headlines, death toll from Borno attacks rises to over 16. Crashed Nigerian Air Force victims to be buried in Abuja on Thursday. Senate confirms Bawa as EFCC Chairman. And now the details. The Senate on Wednesday approved the nomination of Abdulrasheed Bawa for appointment as the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC). The confirmation followed over 2 hours of grilling by senators who sought answers to various questions from the nominee. In all, 19 senators asked questions that were articulately responded by Bawa. Bawa, while answering questions, noted the EFCC Establishment Act empowers the Commission to investigate any person suspected to have acquired unexplained wealth without any formal petition in consonance with Unexplained Wealth Order Act and obtainable in advanced countries. He denied ever selling any asset recovered by the EFCC. He insisted he is qualified for appointment as EFCC Chairman by virtue of his qualifications, training and rank in the Commission. Bawa said he was trained as a law enforcement officer to function as an EFCC operative. The EFCC helmsman said the Commission will review the secondment of police officers to the Commission, which will henceforth be on a need basis. He said that he is in contact with former EFCC chairmen, including Ibrahim Babangida, who congratulated him on his appointment.
Showing the other youths around Nigeria that if you want to get to the top, you don't have to be destructive. We want to dialogue. I'm 60 years old now. I'm working so that other people like you can get to and fix the Nigeria that we are going to hand over to you.
By adventure, this Senate confirms your appointment. This would have raised a lot of hope with respect to the expectations of Nigerians from not just you, but the youth population.
I'm not unmindful of the enormous responsibility before me and my colleagues, but I believe we are up to the task. And I also believe that we will not fix the blame of the past. We will accept our own responsibility for the future. I, as zonal head of the EFCC, never for once sold a single asset in Port Harcourt.
Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Abdulrasheed Bawa as chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
The newly boss of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Abdulrasheed Bawa, has said the nation must recover all stolen assets for the betterment of Nigerians. Bawa, who stated this while appearing before the Senate on Wednesday, said he will work with strategic partners around the world to see that Nigeria benefits from the repatriation of assets stolen from her coffers. According to Bawa, the EFCC will achieve its independent objective by sharing information with its partners. During his screening by the lawmakers, Bawa stated that the Constitution will guide his actions should he be confirmed as EFCC chairman. He promised that at the end of his tenure, the EFCC will be a better place than he met it, noting that his training by the FBI and the National Crime Agency of the United States and the United Kingdom respectively will come in handy. Former military President General Ibrahim Babangida says the security threats Nigeria is facing can be dealt with but requires long-term planning. In an interview on Tuesday, General Babangida stated that the nation can overcome its security issues if those in the position of authority plan appropriately. The former president, while stating that he is concerned about the situation in the country, urged the government and the citizenry to join forces to overcome the problem. Similarly, former head of state Retired General Abdulsalami Abubakar says all hands must be on deck to ensure that the insecurity menace in the country is tackled appropriately. Speaking on Tuesday after a meeting with the Nigerian Governors Forum in Minna, the former president said he urged the governors to stop all disputes within themselves. Death comes when it will come. That is why British playwright William Shakespeare described it as a necessary end. That it is inevitable should remove its shock, its sting, and its pain. However, some deaths can create a sense of perpetual regret, pain and shock and unpreparedness. Signature TV correspondent Chibueze Obi tells us of how a Nigerian family has healed but remains in pain from such a death.
It is a contradiction, but it is the reality. The family of Ilo in Enugu State has healed from the death of their daughter, 2-year-old Natasha Ilo, who died in 2016. The healing, however, is because they have acknowledged, accepted, and translated the experience.
When I lost her, a part of my heart died. And I needed to find a way, because it wasn't just my loss. I have a wife and a daughter who were also going through horrible times. And you wake up, you look at your family, and you see that they're in pain, and there's nothing you can do about it. That helplessness is killing. But the truth of the matter is that I don't want to stop feeling pain. It's my connection to her. It reminds me that we had something. So actually, yes, I don't want the pain to be as bad, but I don't want it to completely go away. It's my treasured pain. It's a sweet pain, knowing that our bond is still there, that like I keep saying, that I love her, like I loved her, the face that I met her.
The cause of the pain is understandable, the death of our cherished daughter. It becomes deeper because Natasha died in 2016, while the Ilo family was celebrating their family birthday, meeting to keep the bond of the family union strong and aglow. While the family met, little Natasha got involved in a swimming pool accident and died. And her uncle, Vin Martin Ilo, has hardly stopped thinking of that incident and the joy it claimed.
That day started with laughter. It started with happiness. It was just 4 months after we had lost our father. And every member of the family, including our grieving mother, had converged in Enugu at my home to observe a family tradition that was instituted by our father decades ago. Our family birthday, celebrated yearly on the last Sunday of August to mark our parents' wedding in 1963. But what is life after all? Some people live to 90 and nobody gets to hear about them. But Natasha was here for just 2 years. The memory I see every day when I remember Natasha was just like 30 minutes before what happened. And she was in the merry-go-round in the playground. And she was really, really having fun. And today, I think we are going to laugh again.
Jude Ilo, the father of Natasha, has arrested the pain and regret and rather converted them to assets, a source of succor to any family that may be experiencing such a deep loss. He has written a book, Cassie, Loss, Love, and Life. The book is the offloading of our choking experience, a ventilation of the spirit, and lightening of a burden. The book of poems and anecdotes speaks to people who may have been weighed down by such an experience to reassure them that life can also provide its own balm.
In writing that book, I have always tried to express myself, with poetry in my quiet moment, just for my own personal collection. But I began to realize that the things I wrote before had new meaning. I read them differently. And I just felt like writing. So I just kept pouring out myself. And sometimes it wasn't just poetry. I just rant, if I may put it that way. So the book was my escape. And I felt it might be something others might find useful.
Udo Jude Ilo put his tears on paper for us to read. And I believe that we can all be more enriched by reading this book. Here is a thoughtful and honest collection of poetry that gently captures the complexities of the human experiences of love and anguish.
The book, Cassier, Lost, Love and Life, was launched in Abuja on Tuesday, February 23, 2021. For some of the guests, including Nnamdi Okeke and Ose Ibawo, the Ilo family has displayed exemplary strength of character and a capacity to turn their pain into a resource by writing the book.
Cassia is one of us, but left us in a mysterious way. And the parents deemed it fit to continue to remember her for eternity. And I deemed it proper to be part of the program. Jude and Camilo is one of our closest family friends we grew up from the cradle. It's unfortunate this thing has to happen to them, and we commiserate with them.
A lot of kids are suffering. A lot of kids are dying because they don't have somebody to take care of them. A lot of kids are going through a lot of violence because their parents cannot speak out. Even when they undergo such a thing, their parents don't have anybody to talk to. But today, NIF, Natasha Ilo Foundation, has come out to speak for them, to take care of them, to better their lives.
They have managed to turn their grief into an inspiration. And other families who have gone through or going through the same sad loss can find hope and strength from the book that he has written.
As part of immortalizing Natasha, the Ilo family also launched a foundation, Natasha Ilo Foundation, in memory of the girl. Former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, who unveiled the logo of the foundation, said the focus of the foundation, which is access to health, education, and prevention of sexual and domestic violence, will play a critical role in making those social services available to Nigerians. He commended the Ilo family for the initiative.
Today here too, we are talking about the education of the girl child and health. This just last week and this week. We get to show how important these two things are to us. Education is central. And of course, you have to be alive even to go to school. So we commend the Ilo family for this noble gesture. And I call on all of us to really support this. And everybody who is in position to touch life, no matter the talent God has given to you, whatever God has given to you, in one way or the other, please try and touch life.
Earlier, Vice President Yemi Osibajo, who joined the event virtually via Zoom, commended the resilience of the couple in turning their pain into a legacy, not only immortalizing their daughter, but also providing support to the underprivileged children and families in grief.
And of course, I was at a complete loss for words. I just couldn't imagine how he, or even for that matter, every hope. 5 years later, they both done the truly remarkable. They converted terrible grief to a civic gift. By establishing this foundation, they said that adversity must not be drowned in self-pity and sorrow. It can become a channel to bless the needy, to make life easier for someone else, especially children living in the most challenging circumstances.
The Natasha Ilo Foundation will also provide scholarship to indigent children as a means of giving them access to education.
Boko Haram jihadists attacked Nigeria's city of Maiduguri on the volatile northeast, killing 16 people, including 9 children who were playing football in a field, local militia told newsmen on Wednesday. The leader of a self-defense militia, Babakura Kolo, said previously 10 people were killed and 47 were injured in Tuesday's attack when jihadists fired rocket-propelled grenades on the densely populated city. Boko Haram has previously made incursions into Maiduguri, the capital of Borno State, using heavy guns and suicide bombers. In one of the neighborhoods affected, Gwange, 9 boys were killed when one of the explosives landed in a field where they were playing football. Kolo said, attacks by the group aimed at overrunning the regional capital are usually foiled in fierce gun battles with the Nigerian troops. The Director General, National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, Imam Suleiman, says data and information synergy from other sister agencies will help fight the war against sexual and gender-based violence. She made the commendation during a multi-agency consultative meeting on the implementation of Violence Against Persons Prohibition (VAP) Act held on Wednesday in Force Headquarters, Abuja. According to her, the Sexual Violation Register will provide information on sexual offenders and cases within the country. She called for multi-agency partnership to help achieve the mandate of the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons.
I would like to make a request to all our sister agencies. Some already have gotten the deployed facility that they could use to update and feed into our sex offenders register. Some are yet to have it. Our international partners supporting this program and also our monitoring center are working on ensuring that all our partners have the proper deployed equipment to ensure that they can feed in. And if they have their own platforms that could be connected, we'll be able to do that. So that going forward, we don't have to work on aligning data. Our data is already aligned for proper data referencing.
President Muhammadu Buhari presided over the meeting of the Federal Executive Council FEC at the Council Chamber of the State House, Abuja. A minute's silence in honor of former Kwara State Military Administrator, retired Brigadier General Ahmed Aboki Abdallah, who died recently, was observed by the cabinet members. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, called on the cabinet members to stand in honor of the departed, who was a former Minister of Communications. Late Abdallah served as Minister of Communications and later Minister of Social Development, Youth and Sports during the military regime, when President Buhari was the head of state. He later became the military administrator of Kwara State from 1987 to 1988. It was observed that the council meeting is being physically attended by Vice President Yemi Oshibanjo, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, and Chief of Staff to the President, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, amongst others, while some other ministers are participating in the weekly cabinet meeting from their various offices in Abuja. The victims of the ill-fated Nigerian Air Force Beechcraft King Air plane that crashed in Abuja last Sunday will be buried on Thursday, February 25th at the National Military Cemetery, Abuja, with full military honors. A burial program from the Nigerian Air Force says activities to commence the burial will start at 7:30 in the morning. The victims include Flight Lieutenant Haruna Gadzama, Flight Lieutenant Henry Pio, Flying Officer Michael Okpara, and Warrant Officer Basi Etim. Others were Flight Sergeant Olasukami Olawumi, Sergeant Ugochukwu Oloka, and Aircraftman Adewale Johnson. Prominent Nigerians, including President Muhammadu Buhari, Minister of Defense Magachi Saliru, have all condoled the Nigerian Air Force, describing the death of the 7 personnel as a national tragedy. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has fixed the Ekiti East Constituency 1 by-election for Saturday, March 20th. Vacancy in the constituency arose as a result of the death of the member representing the constituency, Adebuyi Amos. It warned that in line with the Electoral Act, any political party presents the name of a candidate who does not meet the qualifications stipulated in the Constitution and the Electoral Act shall be guilty of an offense, and on conviction shall be liable to a maximum fine of 500,000 naira. According to a statement by National Commissioner and Chairman Information and Voter Education Committee, Festus Okoye, he said the Independent National Electoral Commission on February 23, 2021, and deliberated on a number of issues, including the conduct of by-election into the vacant seat of Ekiti East Constituency 1 of Ekiti State. The Supreme Egbesu Liberation Fighters, a group of Niger Delta militants, has threatened to destroy infrastructure in Lagos and in Abuja. In a viral video online, the group accused the federal government of marginalizing the region and failing to deliver on the amnesty program. Reading from a statement, a masked member of the group said, after accepting the amnesty pact, till date there are no schools, no potable water, no light, no hospital and access roads for the people to enjoy. The group also complained that no meaningful progress has been made with the Ogoni Cleanup project. It asked the government to allow the region to manage its resources the way Zamfara gold mining sector is being handled by their own people. The group nominated ex-President Goodluck Jonathan and Nyesom Wike, governor of Rivers State, to mediate between it and the federal government. And now moving over to the foreign scene. Niger Foreign Minister Mohamed Bazoum, 61, has won the presidential runoff election with 55.75% of the vote, the Electoral Commission (CENI) announced on Tuesday. He was the front-runner in the first-round balloting on December 27th, with 40% of votes among 30 candidates. In Sunday's runoff, overshadowed by militant attacks that killed 7 electoral officers in southeastern Telabari region, Bazoum, of Arab descent, defeated former President Magame Osamane, 71, who got 44.25% of the vote. The final official result will be certified a few days by the Constitutional Court. On Monday, as Nigerians awaited the results of the Sunday's vote, a polling official was also killed by a roadside bomb that left 9 others injured in the southeastern Diffa region. Bazoum will inherit from outgoing President Mahmoud Issoufou leadership of a politically restive country, which, though rich in uranium, is the world's poorest country, according to the United Nations Human Development Ranking. Niger, a former French colony in West Africa, is plagued by adverse effects of climate change, abject poverty, and severe unemployment. It also endures chronic political instability characterized by several military coups, compounded by terrorism and incessant insurrections by jihadist groups linked to Al-Qaeda and ISIS in the Sahel and Boko Haram from Nigeria. And now moving over to entertainment. United States rapper Aquil Jim Pollard, also known as Bobby Shmurda, has been released from prison. The 26-year-old regained freedom from New York's Clinton Correctional Facility on Tuesday. Law enforcement sources said he will now be under parole supervision for the next 5 years until February 23, 2026. It is understood that his release had come about 10 months earlier than expected. Shmurda was initially arrested in 2014 and was charged with conspiracy to murder, gun and drug possession. In September 2016, he pleaded guilty to 1 count of third-degree conspiracy and 1 count of weapons possession and was sentenced to 7 years in prison. The sentence was later reduced to 5 years after receiving credit for the 2 years he already served awaiting trial. Shmurda's parole hearing had initially been scheduled for August 2020 but was later denied. As a result of his denied parole, he was subsequently to serve his full sentence and be released on December 11, 2021. However, Shmurda's restored credit for good institutional behavior qualified him for the early conditional release. On sports, Chelsea manager Thomas Tuchel admits German duo Timo Werner and Havertz are playing for their futures at the club. Both players have failed to set the world on fire since arriving from Bundesliga for big money last summer. Tuchel says the club must start to see a return on their significant investment. The Chelsea boss added that he has faith that both players can succeed at Stamford Bridge. Before we end the news, a recap of our major stories. Death toll from Borno attacks rises to over 16. Crashed Nigerian Air Force victims to be buried in Abuja on Thursday. Senate confirms Bawa as EFCC Chairman. Please do well to stay safe, maintain physical and social distance, and wear your nose masks while going about your daily activities. That's the signature 30 minutes. On behalf of my producer, Damilola Abudu, I am Obomanu Marvelous. Thanks for watching.